Hi friends, in the last videos we covered very clearly about language fundamentals concept and operators concept. Two sections we completed already, right? So now the next thing, very important thing what we have to discuss, how to read the user provided input. Sir, from the Python program, I have to ask the user, can you please provide some input? If the end user is going to provide some input, how I have to read? Okay, reading user provided input, and I have to print something, some output to the end user. So how you can print output to the end user like so? Input and output, these are things we have to discuss. Sir, that is our next section. Observe a bit carefully, sir. What is our next thing? Input and output statements. Okay, this is the third unit what we have to discuss, right? Okay, yata part of this one, sir, what things we are going to discuss? Sir, do you know raw input and input? There are two input functions are there. One is input function, second one is raw input. What is the difference between raw input and input function? Most valuable important question for the interview room. We have to start our journey with this concept, right? Sir, after the Python 3 input function, how you can use input function? What is the behavior of input function in Python 3? Sir, and after that, of course, multiple examples, multiple programs we are going to discuss. After that, one small shortcut technique I want to explain. How to read multiple values from the keyboard in a single line. Are getting in a single line? I enter 3 values. I want to, sir, read all 3 values by using a single line of the Python code. How you can do that? A beautiful shortcut, sir. That part we are going to discuss. And after that, command line arguments. While executing your Python program py test.py, if you are passing any values 10, 20, 30, how you can read the arguments which are passing from the command prompt, command line arguments we have to discuss. Sir, next and after that, sir, all these things, whatever up to 4, just we are talking about input statements, right? Okay, sir, now output statements, beautiful concepts, sir. If you want to print some output to the end user, compulsory we require to go for print function. What is the behavior of print function? What are various forms of print function is available? We require to discuss, right? Sir, and after that, sir, what is the need of SEP attribute, separator attribute, sir? What is the need of end attribute? What is the need of end attribute, right? Sir, next printing formatted string. How you can print a formatted string, percentage I, percentage D, something like how you can use that we will discuss. Next, replacement operators are a wonderful, most commonly used operator, curly brace operand close. How you can use this operator? These are the things what we are going to discuss. So these are things are output related statements, right? So how to read end user provided input, how to print something to the end user as the output. These concepts we are going to discuss in detail. Be ready to perform postmortem, right? Okay, sir, the first subtopic, let me start. Raw input and input. Sir, there are 2 input functions are available. What is the difference between these 2 things I have to discuss, right? Sir, can you please spell out what is the first one, sir? Raw input. Okay, this function can be used to read the end user provided data. Okay, of course, normal input also can be used to read end user provided data. But the problem with this raw input is it is always going to return in string form only. Remember that the return type of raw input is it is always going to provide in the form of string only. Even you entered numbers also, but still it is considered as a string type only. Compulsory we have to perform typecasting by using the corresponding typecasting methods, right? Best example, suppose my requirement is, sir, x is equal to raw input of enter some value, enter some value like this I am taking, sir. Sir, now even you entered, sir, 10 also, even you entered a number 10 also, still it's always going to consider as a what type, sir? It is a str type only. Okay, now we have to perform typecasting, sir. Okay, now sir, we have to perform int of x. Okay, int of x, like by using typecasting function, we have to convert that string type to our required type. Everyone can able to understand, right? So what is the raw input function? Okay, what is the return type of raw input function, sir? It is always a string type. If you can ask directly, print a type of x, print a type of x. If you can ask, sir, it's always going to provide str type only. Remember that. Okay, what is the types are? Str, whether you provided 10, whether you provided 10.5, whether you provided true, whether you provided Durga, always what types are? It's always str type only. This is raw input function, sir. Sir, now what is the next function what we have? Okay, input function, sir. This input function is always going to read the data from the end user and provide based on the value. If end user provided int value, directly this function is going to provide int type only. If end user provided string value, now this function is always going to provide string type only. We are not required to perform typecasting, sir. Sir, just observe that x is equal to input of enter something like this I'm asking, sir. Now print of type of x. Do you know, if it is the raw input function, the type of x is always what? Str type only. But it is the input function, the type of x, not str type, always based on provided value. If end user provided 10, then it is considered as the int. If end user provided 10.5, then it is considered the float. Are you getting? If end user provided Durga, it is considered as str. Okay, remember, we are not required to perform typecasting, sir. This is the main important difference between raw input and input. Are you getting that? Very important question for the entire room. What is the difference between raw input and input? Raw input function return type is always str type only. Compulsory we require to perform typecasting explicitly. Sir, I want to read the data directly. I don't want to perform typecasting. Same type only I want. Then we have to go for what? Input function. Any doubt up to this, right? Raw input and input. But here one small twist is there. I didn't tell up to this, right? What is the twist is? These are two functions applicable for Python 2.x. Are you getting right? Python 2.x. These two functions are applicable, right? But in Python 3, remember that in Python 3.x, maybe 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, in Python 3x, we have only input function but not raw input function. Are you getting? We have only input function but not raw input function. So simply we have only input function is there. Okay, well, sir, first clarity. What is the difference between raw input and the input, sir? Raw input is always going to provide string type. Input is always going to provide the value based on our provided. Okay, like raw input and input, this terminology is applicable for Python 2x, but in Python 3.x, sir, raw input function not available. Okay, well, now the next twist, sir, very important, take special care. So in Python 3x, we have only one input function. That input function is this function, right? Can you please guide what is the return type of this input function? Please spell out. What is the return type of this input function? Sir, in Python 2x, input function return type is based on your provided value. If you provide int value, now the return type itself will be int. Sir, if you provide 10.5, float. If you provide Durga string, then str type, right? Same is this story is applicable for the Python 3x input function or not? Okay, take very special care. Python 3x input function is not the same as Python 2x input function. Okay, Python 3x input function is not the same as Python 2x input function. So Python 3x input function behavior is the same as Python 2x raw input function. Are you getting right? In Python 2x, how raw input function is going to behave, the same way Python 3x input function is going to behave. Remember, raw input function, this name is renamed to input function in Python 3x. Okay, that's why, can you please tell what is the return type of this input function? Whatever there in the Python 3x is always str type only. You provided any type, it is always treated as str type only. Where is the proof for that? Where is the proof for that? Just observe a bit carefully, sir. X is equal to input of enter something. Are you getting? Enter something like I have to take. Sir, what is the type of this x? Print type of x. Print type of x. The type of x is always what type, sir? The type of x is always what type? str type only. Even you provided int value, float value, any types are, it's always going to consider as str type only. If you want to convert into type, compulsory we require to use explicitly typecasting functions. Are you in the position to understand, right? So the input function, whatever we have in Python 3x, it is exactly same as raw input function in the Python 2x. The return type of input function is always str type. If you want any other type, compulsory we have to perform what? Typecasting functions. Okay, let me execute this small code, sir. So now observe that, sir, x is equal to input function. I'm taking enter some value, enter some value. So end user can provide any type of value, we don't know, sir. Enter some value. Okay, now just I'm trying to print what is the type of this x. As per our discussion, do you know the type of x is always what type? str type only. Okay, print x value also. That's all, sir. Sir, have you observed? Input function, sir, can be used to read end user provided data. Next, it is always going to return which type, sir? It's always going to return in which format? String format only. Have a look. Practical proof you are going to get, sir. Observe a bit carefully. Here, just 1 minute. Have a look once, sir. Sir, I'm taking py test.py. Enter some value. 10 I'm taking, sir. I know 10 is what type, sir? I know 10 itself is what type? It is int type, but the answer is coming str type. Yes, it is the str type. Sir, now I am taking 10.5, sir. Even 10.5 also, it is treated as str type. Sir, if I am taking boolean value, sir, true. Yes, str type only. I am trying to take Durga, sir. Yes, str type only. Regarding str type only, right? So you provide any type of data, the result is always going to provide which types are str type only. This is what is the behavior of a Python 3x input function, right? Clear for all of you, right? So if you want int value, then we require to perform what? Typecasting, sir. So from this discussion, what you people should be aware, what is the difference between, sir, Python, raw input and input function. Next, in Python 3x, input function is exactly same as Python 2x raw input function. Clear for all of you, right? Next, why they give the priority for string return type? The reason is the most commonly used type in any programming language is the str type. That's why they gave the priority. Default accepted form is always what? str. Because simple reason, it is the most commonly used type is the string type, sir. Suppose I require to provide 10 values. I want to provide 10 values, but out of 10 values, 9 values, 8 to 9 values, mostly string type, only 1 or 2 values may be other types. That's why, so very commonly used will be the default type. So that's why str will become default type. Clear, right?